As the National Socialist Movement's March on Washington looms, Washington, D.C. law enforcement prepares for the worst. In 2005, a National Socialist Movement march to protest black crime in Toledo came under attack from a large group of counter-protesters. Anti-racist, outraged to see hundreds of local police protecting white supremacists, spark a 4-hour riot. Smoke from tear gas fills the streets as rioters pelt police with bottles and bricks. 12 officers are injured. Stores are looted and set on fire. At the end of the day, 114 people land in jail. All of them are protesters.
All it's going to take is another Toledo riot for the white people to finally just get pissed off enough where they're going to take up ball bats, tire irons, and guns and just start cleaning house.
But today, the D.C. authorities have everything in place. Over 1,000 police line the parade route. Helicopters, SWAT teams, motorcycle police, and officers on horseback will monitor every move of the Nazis and the protesters. The D.C. authorities want to ensure this march will not turn violent like Toledo. On the morning of April 19, 2008, Jeff Scoop and his neo-Nazi organization, the National Socialist Movement, gathers in Baltimore. The group will drive to Washington, D.C., where they'll undergo a security check before being bused to the demonstration site. April is a month that looms large on extremist calendars. April 20th is Adolf Hitler's birthday. The NSM uses the internet to promote the march, even spending money on a professional video.
I think the March in Washington is interesting because it shows once again how even neo-Nazi groups whose principal enemy is the Jew have completely focused in on illegal immigration. What that says to me is that the NSM has realized this is an issue that will play, that will actually bring us members.
But the faithful aren't the only ones who hear the message. Across the country, news of the upcoming March on D.C. travels through the anti-racist community. Historically, anti-racists vow to stop racism by any means necessary. Some have come armed and prepared to confront the enemy. On the National Mall, the police braced themselves for the arrival of Scoop and his Nazis, as well as the volatile protesters. The NSM works closely with police to ensure that Scoop and the neo-Nazis have enough police protection. The police check the Nazis for weapons. While the police screen the Nazis, a group of anti-racist protesters arrive at the Washington Monument.
We're here today because the group that's coming out, the National Socialist Movement, what they like to do is they come out in these brown shirts and swastika armbands, and it's really a tool of intimidation and terror. That's the only reason anyone does it. And if it's right or legal or moral for them to be out here and intimidating people, then it's right and fair and legal and moral for us to be out here intimidating the masses.
Tensions start to rise when protesters confront 3 NSM supporters. The neo-Nazi supporters calmly walk through the crowd. The anti-racists are outraged by their bravado. Police rush in to protect the Nazi supporters. A response that agitates protesters. But freedom of speech in America is a protected right. An anti-racist fires off pepper spray, triggering a melee. police pounced on 4 anti-racist protesters.
Placed under arrest, carrying prohibited weapons and deploying a cross with a metal pipe and pepper spray. Alright?
That's what this country is founded on, doing what you believe is right and actually standing up for stuff. Whereas it comes down to this, and we're just going to let some Nazis walk in here all over our capital. Is that what this country's about? So, I mean,
what you guys do is dangerous.
It is dangerous, but it's
side of the head.
and I've been busting in the side of the head, and it's well worth it to me to stand up for what I believe and back down to some ignorant people who refuse to, acknowledge change in the world and positive change at that. So it's a worthy risk as far as I'm concerned, and as far as everybody else here is concerned.
By the time the Nazis arrived, police lined Constitution Avenue